Let's go.
Welcome back to Mic'd Up and Misinformed. This week we're going to be giving out our picks and predictions for UFC Fight Night, Hernandez versus Rodriguez. You ready, Mad Dog?
I'm ready.
Dude, we got absolutely smoked last week, so hopefully we can come back with a vengeance. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not extremely confident this week. I will be in the next coming cards, but this is just a funky card, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of guys either with one or two fights or coming up. A lot of guys coming from the LFA.
Yeah, this is one of those fight
Yeah,
cards
just a
that
lot of
there'll
new
be
ones.
some guys that are putting their names on the map for the first time. And then in the co-main and main event, um, we do
For
have
sure.
we do have more contenders. So it'll be. I'm just thankful any Saturday that we can get some UFC. So
Yeah, still good entertainment.
all right, bro. So first fight of the night, we have Ryan Coos versus Marcio Barbosa. I know Barbosa's a pretty hefty favorite here. Isn't he like a like a minus 600 or something?
Dude, I just had the lines up, and then of course, as soon as I click back to it, it pulls away. Yeah, it's minus Coos. So is it Barbosa versus Ryan Coos?
Yeah.
Marcio Barbosa minus 900. Ryan Cruz is plus 600.
Who you taking in
And
that one,
saying
bro?
this is Coos's first UFC fight. So both of these guys can get the job done. Honestly, both these guys can finish. I think I'm going to lean towards Barbosa with the KO. So I'm saying this fight doesn't go to the finish. And again, this is Ryan Coos's first UFC fight. So when it's their first time under the big lights, it's so hard to judge and gauge these guys. I mean, even guys that have fought really well in other leagues, they come to the UFC and kind of flatline, you know?
Yeah, bro. In this matchup, sorry, I'm trying to get the odds up here. There we go. Because when I can't see him, it drives me nuts, bro. For Barbosa being that huge of a favorite, I feel like I know Barbosa has been knocked out before. I believe two times. He's a knockout artist. He's really
Yeah.
aggressive in the first round. I'm taking a gamble here, and I'm gonna take Kus as an underdog, bro. I feel like he's a live dog, and he shouldn't be this big of a favorite. To get him anywhere between, I'm seeing anywhere between a +5 to +600. I think it's Kus or pass.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Like I said, both of these guys can get the job done, honestly. So I'm not upset if you say dog or pass.
Bro, plus
I mean,
minus
there's no value.
almost 800 for the favorite is crazy, dude. Next up, we have Gage
Yeah,
Young at
100%.
minus 155 versus Stanley Dorsa Dorsain. Sorry, Dorsainville. Dorsainville. This is, I believe, his first UFC fight, and Gage Young is I wouldn't say he's like a UFC vet, but he does have some good experience in the UFC.
Yeah, he at least has some experience. And they got Young at minus 160 and Dorseyville at plus 135. So I do like Young here. Again, I think the experience helps. He's definitely fought better competition. Um, Stanley's best thing is he's got some ground game, so he can sub. And I mean that guy
He has some
is he's
submissions on
pretty
his record.
stout for the lightweight division. He does have some submissions on his record. So I mean, same, but I mean he's 5-0, just coming to the UFC. At least Young has fought a few times and has some better competitors. So I like Young here. I'm going to take Young at the minus 167 or 160.
Bro, I'm on the opposite end. I'm taking Stanley. Here's the dog. I feel like he's going to be a lot bigger than Gage Young. I feel like he's a lot longer and taller. He does have a submission threat, so if the fight goes on the ground, I think he could pull off a sub. And then he does have a couple decision wins as well. I feel like public money will go on Gage Young because
Yeah.
he is
So you know what you can
does have the
hit.
experience on his side. So I'm going to take a stab at the
Yes,
underdog here.
sir.
And they both are not familiar with each other at all. So I feel like it's really a 50-50 fight, and anytime it's a 50-50, I'm going to take the underdog.
Yeah, I got you. And for I mean, again, I think Young or Stanley's he's pretty stout for this division too. I mean,
He looks big for the weight class, bro. I
he's
fake like he's going to
muscular,
be a
like you
lot
said,
bigger
he's
than Gage
tall, he's
Young.
got the reach.
I'll be
He looks
interested to see
stout.
them at face-offs and see
Yeah,
what the is looking like between them.
yeah. When they size up at weigh-ins, they'll be more interesting and easier to tell then. But I think he looks big for this weight class, honestly.
Yeah, I'm taking the dog for sure, bro. Next up, we have a women's matchup. We have Elise Reed, UFC veteran, versus Chanel Dyer. Dyer sitting at about a minus 700 to a minus 800 here. I think it's dog or
They
pass,
got
bro, but
they got
I'm gonna
Dryer
stay
at
away.
-850.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think just stay away, honestly. I think Dryer probably can get the KO here. Like you said, Reed's been around, but she's got a soft chin, so I really like Dryer with the KO. But again, the odds are so biased. It's crazy. -850.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pass on that one. I'm not even gonna. I wouldn't even mess with the underdog. I would just pass completely on that fight. Next up, we have Jackson McVeigh at a minus about 175 versus Wes Schultz at a plus 145. Schultz has a little bit more UFC experience. McVeigh is a younger prospect with a
Yeah,
higher upside. Who do you got?
you cut out a little bit. I mean, both of these guys got great jiu-jitsu. So I think it's who can sub who. I think who can get the control time and who's going to sub who. Both of these guys even look alike, dude. Like if you told me they were cousins, I'd believe you.
Who are you taking in the matchup?
I, I'm taking in West. Is it Wesley? I'm taking
Wes
Wesley just
Schultz?
because. Yeah, Wes Schultz. Yeah, he's the. I think it's a 50-50 matchup, and Wes Schultz is plus 147. So I'm taking the odds here. I think it's gonna be a very even matchup, and again, I think it's gonna go down to the ground. So I think it's whoever can sub whoever makes the first mistake, in the jiu-jitsu turns. Whoever rolls over or doesn't escape fast enough is gonna get caught.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm taking Schultz as well. It's a 50-50 fight, and I'm gonna take the underdog. Next up, we have Chris Padilla versus Nasrat Haprast. Haprast is at a minus 117. Chris Padilla is around a plus 105. It's basically a pick 'em here. Who do you got?
Dude, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Which fight is this?
This is a Chris Padilla versus Nasrat Haprast.
My stupid thing keeps going back and forth. Let me
But
pull
I'll
up
go
this here.
while you're pulling it up. I do like Chris Padilla as the underdog. I feel like he's a little
Go
bit
ahead.
more versatile in this matchup. So I'm gonna take Padilla here.
Yeah, I have Padilla too. He's shown more improvement over his last couple of fights. Nasrat has fought great people, but he loses in the striking game.
Yeah, Nazra, he
Where
does
I
have
think
good
Padilla is more
boxing.
well rounded.
Nazra has better boxing, I feel like. He has the experience on his side. He's fought higher quality opponents, but I think Chris Padilla is just more well
He's
rounded
definitely more
overall and has
competitive.
a lot more of a higher upside.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
taking
and
Padilla
he's
here. I
shown a
feel like
lot of
there's more
improvement
paths
over
to
the last
victory.
couple of years. I feel like Padilla's record doesn't show it, but most of his losses were early in his career. And again, I think he continues to improve himself too. Like he's gonna keep pushing to the top, top 10, top 5. I wouldn't say he's necessarily contender status, but he could get up there over the next couple of years.
Yeah, he definitely has a higher upside. So I'm taking the dog in that one too. Next up, we have Jamal Emmers versus Larian Douglas. Douglas is at a minus 350 to minus 400. Big favorite here. Emmers is not very active, and for how long he's been in the UFC, he hasn't been as active the last few years. And
Yeah.
Larian Douglas is a knockout machine. So
Yeah, he's definitely more athletic, and I think he's more fit. So, like you said, this is a kind of a tough one because I feel like Douglas is more well rounded, And same, he's fought a little bit more overall, but the inactivity over the last couple of years is kind of questionable. So I'm going to skip this fight. I believe Douglas gets it done, but I don't know, dude. Emmers he's an athletic animal, so he definitely has the ability to get the job finished too. And they're expecting this one not to go.
Yeah, I would probably take the over 1.5. That'd probably be my favorite play here. Douglas is just too big of a price tag for me, so I think the best play would be to take over 1.5. I would not be surprised if it does go to a decision or a late finish.
Yeah, I can see the late finish for sure.
Next up, we have Shamil Gaziv at a minus 135 versus Kennedy Nchekwu at a plus 115. You know, it's pretty close to a pick 'em here.
I'm taking Kennedy. I don't know, because he definitely was a huge prospect coming in, but I feel like he really hasn't stood up to the standard that we were expecting to see him at. And then he lost his last two fights by KO. So I think Kennedy could knock him out again, dude.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on this matchup. I feel like Gaziv's stock has really declined in the UFC, especially coming off those two losses, and now I'm questioning where his
Yeah.
mentality lies. So, and Kennedy Nchekwu has a lot of power, and as long as the fight's standing up, I feel like the advantage is on Kennedy's side. Gaziv has the path to victory if he's able to get some takedowns and get some control time, maybe try to pull off a submission, but I just don't see that happening. I feel like both of their gas tanks are not the best either. So I think Kennedy is either going to cruise on to a decision win or find a knockout.
Yeah, I think Kennedy can get the knockout, dude. Honestly, I don't know. Gazib just has not performed up to par.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Nichekwu here. Next up, we have a women's matchup: Carly Judice versus Jesla Chavez. Judice is a minus 600. Chavez is sitting around a plus 450.
Yeah, Judice is at minus 575 on my book, which is crazy. And honestly, I feel like neither of these women have been tested. Chavez is coming in 8-0. This is again dog or pass, dude. Honestly, there's just not a lot of value here. So I'm gonna pick Chavez at plus 425, 450. I'll take those odds all day on an undefeated fighter.
Yeah, I'm not mad at you for it. I would just pass on that fight, but it's dog or pass for me. So, next fight we have, and sorry guys, I know this podcast that we're doing. I think it's probably my phone. I'm not sure, but this echo thing's driving both of us nuts. So sorry about that. Hopefully, it's not on the next one that we do.
Yeah, and there's a small like it keeps having a delay and then it breaks up. Man, I don't know if it's your internet service or what. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it says I have full bars and everything, so I honestly am not sure what's going on.
Well, maybe it's me. Well, I know we have a storm coming in. We got thunder and lightning warnings when I was driving back home from work right now.
So it's all good, bro. We'll just do what we can. Next up, we have Markel
No, we
Medros
can.
versus Mason Jones. Mason Jones is about a minus 300. Medros is about a plus 220, plus 230.
Is it Medros versus Jones?
Yeah, Jones is a pretty sizable favorite here.
Yeah. Yeah, minus 290. I do like Jones. I think this is going to be a boxer delight, bro. I think both of these guys want to stand and bang and just be scrappy as can be. This is, they do have it for over, oh no. Yeah, they do have it for over under. They have it over 2.5. I think these guys are going to get after each other. I think one of these guys is going to get cut up like nuts, dude. This is one of the times when someone's going to end up with a busted nose or a big eye gouge. Doctors and the stoppage is going to come in. And these guys are going to get scrappy. This is like a fan favorite fight. This is when everyone's cheering. No one's going to be booing these two.
Yeah, it definitely has the potential to be fight of the night. I actually think this is the best bet to be fight of the night. Um, Here's what I'm thinking. Mason Jones is on fire right now. You know, he's got his stock's pretty high. He's looking like he could possibly enter like contender status in his division. However, he does take a lot of damage in his fights, and he's super hittable. And with this fight, with Jones being such a big favorite, I have to take the underdog in Medeiros because I feel like he's a little bit cleaner on the feet, and I feel like he could win by decision or maybe get a knockout against Jones. Jones's advantage in this matchup is if he utilizes his ground game. So I'm thinking, like what you said, I think it's going to be a striker's delight, and Medeiros gets the better
Yeah,
on the feet and cruises on to a split decision or unanimous win here. I'm going to take the dog.
yeah. I mean, these guys are gonna just be standing and banging like crazy. I mean, both of these guys just want to be, teeing off on each other.
Yeah. All right, bro. Next up, we have Rainer de Ritter versus Roman Dolidze. De Ritter's a pretty big favorite here, man. He's about a minus 400.
Now, this one, dude, it just depends if De Ritter comes in and focuses on his grappling game and just focuses on submission attempts and takedowns, I think he can get the job done fairly easily. I don't know, the same thing. I feel like Doldy's had a good couple of years, and then I don't know why, dude, but I feel like he's kind of been fading off my favorite list. When he first came on, I was like, man, this guy's got some talent, but I feel like he just kind of like leveled off, and he's no longer growing or going in the right direction. Where DeRitter still, I mean, he's still got the ability, but it depends on his game plan. If he focuses on the grappling and the submissions, all means he can get the job done.
Yeah, so in this matchup, I feel like De Ritter is better than Dolidze in every single category. I mean, he's got better jiu-jitsu, he's got better wrestling, he's got better stand-up. Dolidze's really slow on the feet. I feel like De Ritter cruises to an easy win here, whether he gets a submission or a decision. The only thing I'm worried about with De Ritter is his weight cuts. He is one of those guys that cuts so much weight to make weight hit the weight in his class. He's kind of like Alex Pereira with how
Yeah.
much weight he was cutting. So that's really concerning to me because De Ritter's biggest enemy is the weight scale.
Just
And with
himself in
De-
the scale.
yeah, I was saying De Ritter's biggest enemy is the weight scale, because he has such a hard time making weight. So
Yeah.
if you're taking De Ritter, if he has a clean weight cut, I think this is an easy win for him. If he struggles on the weight scale, Dolidze might get him late in the fight and mess up a lot of people's parlay.
Yeah, I mean, Doldy's could definitely make an upset, but I think if DeRitter just focuses on his game plan, focuses on the submission, I think, like you said, I think he cruises through this fight, honestly.
Yeah. All right, bro. Next for the we are up to the co-main event now. For the co-main, we have a heavyweight matchup: Sergey Spivak versus Vitor Petrino. Petrino's at a minus 165. Spivak is a plus 135.
It's kind of crazy. I think since Petrino's moved up in the weight class, I think he's much better, dude. I think he's not fighting the weight cut like we just talked about. I think he's more athletic overall. By all means, Spivak can get a KO and get a crazy finish here, but I think Vitor is just. I think he's in his prime right now. Honestly, I think he's on a heater. I'm taking Vitor at these odds, especially all day.
Yeah, I think Vitor definitely has a lot more um, aggression in his fights. I question Spivak's like dog mentality sometimes. So I like Vitor's mindset, and I feel like both of their gas tanks aren't the best. Petrino's a lot better on the feet. If it's on the ground, Spivak might have a slight advantage, but not by much.
Yeah,
So
not
I
by
think the
much,
best play here is
exactly.
probably
I
taking
if
Petrino.
Spivak wins, I think he gets a KO. Yeah, I'm taking Petrino all day, dude. Especially at those odds, man. That's like a give me.
All right, bro. For the main event, we got Fluffy Anthony Hernandez versus Gregory Robocop Rodriguez. Hernandez is about a minus 180, minus 190. Rodriguez is a plus 145.
Dude, when I looked this up, I was surprised. I think Rodriguez is only 2 years older than Fluffy. I assumed he was much older. Like I feel like he's been around forever. and it was crazy that he's only 2 years older. I think Rodriguez is a better striker, but I think Hernandez's gas tank and submission ability is what's going to make the difference in this fight. So I'm definitely taking Fluffy here.
I think the best play here is taking Fluffy by decision. He definitely could pull off a late submission in rounds 4 or 5. His gas tank is absolutely unreal. However, in the first 3 rounds, Robocop is dangerous, bro. He definitely could pull off a knockout. And Rodriguez's ground game is really good as well. I think a lot of people sleep on Rodriguez's ground game because he is a high level jiu jitsu player. He just doesn't often go to the ground because he just wants to stand and trade.
Use it,
So
yeah.
don't be surprised if Rodriguez does
And
stuff a lot of
Rodriguez has
takedowns early in the
those
fight.
And Rodriguez has those big old hammer fists, dude. Like if he catches you clean, you're out. That's the only thing that scares me a little bit, like you said in the earlier rounds. But I think Hernandez can get the job done. I think he just wears him down, uses his conditioning and gas tank, and gets his submission.
Hi, bro. You ready to give out the locks?
I love it. So I have a lifting competition this weekend, so I'm not going to be able to do like my normal betting and martingale and following the fights as well. So I'm going to skip the martingale this weekend. That's the only thing I freaking hit last weekend, thankfully, because I was so upside down. So my only pick for this week is Anthony Hernandez and Vitro Petrino in a parlay. It pays 168 putting those two guys together.
Okay. I like it, bro. All right, so
Just clean, simple, just looking for the win this weekend, not getting carried away.
all right, bro. I'm gonna straight bet all of these plays for a quarter unit. I'm taking these are gonna be all underdogs. I'm gonna put a quarter unit on each of these.
All right, let's do it.
All right, Padilla, and then
Yeah.
Nchekwu, and then you get Nchekwu?
Yeah. Yep.
All right,
Yeah. So
now,
Kennedy, Cheku, Chris Padilla, just those two so far, right?
yep, Medros,
All right, Medrose.
and then that Stanley dude, and then
So
RoboCop,
just those three.
RoboCop, and then that Stanley guy.
Now, is this a parlay or a quarter unit on each individual?
A quarter unit on each individual.
All right, got you.
And then so it was
I mean,
the
really,
Stanley
two of these win, you're
Dorsonville.
getting the plus.
Do what?
I said if it hits, you only need two of them, and you're in plus money.
Cool. Well, did you get all of them? I think it was so I had Stanley, Dorsvili, and then Chris Padilla, and then Kennedy, and then Medeiros, and then Gregory Rodriguez. So 5 of them.
So it's five, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, I got them, boss. I got them.
Perfect. And then if you guys that are listening, I don't want to do this for us, but on the side I don't want to mess with ours because I'm trying to get us like up in units, but on the side I probably will parlay all those guys for some money because that would pay a crazy amount.
I mean, if that hits, that'd be a crazy.
Yeah, those 5 in a parlay would pay out really good, bro. I think that'd pay out probably plus 1,500.
It's got to be more than that. Plus 8,000.
For those 5 fighters,
Yeah, because they're all
Dude,
plus money.
that's crazy, bro. Yeah, that I'm rocking with that.
So I mean, even a $10 bet will win you 800 bucks, basically.
Bro, that'd be insane.
Well, if you did that last week, dude, with all the underdogs that were winning, you had a great chance. I mean, there were so
Bro,
many
it
freaking underdogs; it was nuts, and
oh,
so many fights were like going in the right direction, and then all of a sudden the tide just turned.
yeah, yeah. Last week's fights were nuts, bro. Like, I was so frustrated with how like the Chidi Chidi Nchwani versus Joel Alvarez drove me freaking nuts. That was a big upset, and then Neil Magny had upset that Brahamaj. That was a pretty big upset too. And then Jeremiah
Yeah,
Wells upsetting Orobaki. That was crazy.
yep. But
Or
like,
Orobai, whatever
yeah,
his
because
name is.
Alvarez never even tried to shoot for a submission or anything, so Chidi came in and got the job done. The Abdullah Malik was probably the most upsetting. I mean, everyone was putting money on him to get a KO, and he just was like flatlined in there.
Yeah,
Now, I will say, I think
Stolfus dogged
Robertson's,
him.
I think she played really good. Yeah, dogged him, dude, dogged him. Now, I think Robertson's played really well against Dern, but I think she was too defensive. She was too cautious in the beginning, first rounder, and then she just played the defensive game the whole time. Like Dern was never able to submit her, but Robertson's never really was offensive enough to make a change. It's like she would maybe get a few punches off, maybe try to shoot. Dern would take her to the ground, and then they would play grappling the whole time. So in her defense, she didn't get submitted, but she didn't look that great either.
Yeah, I was
And then
off
the
about
one that
how
killed me the
good
most because I
Robertson
think
was.
the
That was a little underwhelming. And I also, it was unfortunate how she had to deal with all that adversity with her coach too. Her coach talking negative about her after the fight,
that
and like that was just so shady. She did not deserve
yeah, I mean
that,
that to
bro.
me that was crazy. No, she didn't deserve that at all. And I thought the same thing. Like when he was talking to her in between the rounds, I'm like, he's not really trying to like motivate her or get her boosted up. Like sometimes those fighters go in, they get all motivated, they come out and bam, they get the freaking job done because they're so fired up. I feel like that probably did impact her. And again, I think Robertson's did well. She just was too defensive. If she would have been more offensive, I think at least she could have won one or two rounds. And then I did the parlay with the fights not going the distance. The Jalen Turner, he came out and knocked the dude out in like 45 seconds. The Barboza Etzvin fight. But the one that kills me is the Luque and Gore. Literally, like Luque had that headlock for like a full minute and didn't get the submission. Literally knocked the dude's front teeth out, didn't get the finish. And then Gore was beating the crap out of Luque there for a little bit and still didn't get the finish. If I would have hit that, at least I would have been plus money. I would have actually done okay last week. But I'm like, they had multiple chances, and that was like a crazy, crazy fight, and it still went the distance, dude. That whole fight was just completely insane.
Yeah, and I think that's the beautiful thing about fighting, though, is how, as much as we try to predict things to happen, fighting is so unpredictable at the end of the day. And I think that's what's fascinating about the UFC. And I feel like you had the right read on that Gore and Luque fight because that should have been finished multiple times. And, both those guys, were just absolute dogs and warriors to be
Either
able to come
side,
out and make it to the decision.
yeah, either side could have had it done, dude, and it didn't go.
Yeah. So, I will tell you
But
guys
again, you
this
just
week,
never know when you get.
I'm just not very confident this week with our picks. I mean, at least from the picks that I gave out, I'm not very confident this week. I'll always let you guys know if I'm more or less confident, but this card, I just don't have a great feeling about it. I just feel like it's too many dog or pass situations.
There definitely is some good. I feel like there is some good value in underdogs in this fight for sure. That's why I just did the two pick parlay, trying to keep it clean and simple. Try to just win some money this week and not do anything crazy. And again, since I'm not gonna be able to watch and bet accordingly with the martingale, I'm not gonna give out a martingale this time. But I mean, as far as the year is concerned, the martingale strategy has been going great for us.
Yeah, I feel like we've been doing pretty good, especially when we give out the safer plays. Some weeks we've gotten a little bit greedy, but I think that's just how gambling goes, man. And I encourage, if you are going to gamble, do the safe plays, and then if you do get up a little bit, play around with the money. If you want to, if you can afford to lose some money, then you
Yeah,
can get a little bit greedier when you are up from those safer plays that do hit. And when they don't, just keep it safe for as long as you can.
for sure. Or like if you're, let's say you're a $50 better for the weekend, maybe make like two really good solid plays at $20 each, and take that other $10 and split it up and sprinkle it into like $3 or $4 plays over some crazy stuff or crazy odds to really give you kind of like a jackpot, give you a nice big money hit. But knowing that it's statistically not happening when you're making a freaking 8 leg parlay.
Bro, if I was a $50 better this weekend for the UFC, I would do 10 individual straight bets on whoever's betting their five favorite underdogs of the card. I would have a $50 better take five of their favorite underdogs on the card and just straight bet each one of those.
Yeah, I think that, dude. If you would have done that last weekend, you would have been freaking rolling. You would have been the only person in the universe to make money. There was so many, and then big underdogs too, like plus 600 underdogs, multiple of them, not just one, multiple.
Yeah, I would say last weekend the sports books definitely made their money. They made huge profits last weekend. Sports bettors were down real bad after the UFC.
Yeah, for sure.
So, hey, so that's it for our picks for UFC this week. I do want to say we do have the MLB playoffs coming up here pretty soon. Right now, the Dodgers are the best team in the league, whether they're winning or losing. They have the most talent. So if you're looking at putting on future bets, even if the Dodgers are at like plus 160 to plus 200 right now, I still feel like it's worth the juice because they're just so good. And then one pick I really like right now, it's about even odds as well, but I'm going to take the Minnesota Lynx in the WNBA to win the championship there. So I feel really confident about the Lynx this year.
All right,
So if you're
all
looking
right,
at making
Gary.
any
So
future
say you could
parlays,
you could put those on
Dodgers,
some of the
Lynx,
end of your
love.
parlays and let them ride out for the rest of the season.
Yeah. So and then on top,
All
and then
right.
another thing with the Dodgers is if the further they get in the playoffs, it'll be really easy to hedge because they'll be the favorite against whoever they play as well. So that's it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Be safe. Bet smart. Peace.